Hey everybody, I'm Joshua, ENFP Hoops. I'm joined as always by Amber, Amby Wright. This is the Atlanta Dreamin pod. And yeah, still a decent amount to talk about, even though there hasn't been a ton of WNBA news. We're going to touch on Athletes Unlimited,
Mm-hmm.
where someone is number one. We're going to touch
Mm-hmm.
on the Aari McDonald getting extended. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about trade rumors that Amber talked about on our playback. Just talk about a little more for people who didn't get to see that. I have some thoughts on this opinion, but yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we'll go from there. So let's start with Athletes Unlimited. So when we left, like when our stream ended, Nas Hillman was number 3 with
Mm-hmm.
points, but it was not accounting for her winning the MVP last night of the game. So she is
A
in first place in Athletes
number
Unlimited,
one
which is pretty darn awesome. So
is.
yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
especially on the glass, both games like she was solid, but just the second game like took it to another level. Like 16 points, 7 of 10 shooting, 7 offensive rebounds. So you get 10 points for each of those. So yeah, so she just racked it up,
Yeah.
and it's exciting. And it didn't. We saw that one outside shot like early in the second half of the first game, but
Mm-hmm.
like those inside moves are there, and I just love her determination, like on the glass. Like I don't know, she seems hungry. Like
She
I'm
does.
excited to see this next season. What about you, Amber? Anything particular stand out to you about Nasa's game so far, and the 2 games so far in
Man.
Athletes Unlimited?
My girl has been beasting on them boards.
Yes, she has.
She has been beasting and feasting on them boards, especially on the offensive glass. So that is a great sign. That's a great sign. That shows that she's hungry, and it shows that she been working on, she been in the gym. She been pumping that iron. She getting ready. I can't
I
wait to
agree.
see her feasting, man. Ugh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be
It
great.
is. I agree. So yeah, like she's just seemed like you can tell she's a WNBA player
Mm-hmm.
among people that are trying to get there. Like I don't know, there's something special going on. I'm excited to see it more against obviously WNBA competition night in and night out, but
Mm-hmm.
that's really exciting. And
It's a great
then
sign.
so she already said obviously that she wants to most play with Allisha.
Of
Uh,
course.
I chatted with Odyssey Sims, chatted as in like, hey, would you take Allisha next time if you were in position? She said she
Mm-hmm.
would have taken her first last time if she was available. So either
Mm-hmm.
way, I'm feeling good if one of those two players, because Odyssey Sims is in second right now, and I've really liked her game so far.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I would not mind, because we've both had our gripes with how Allisha has been used on Team
Yes.
Purple. So her being with
Phew.
Nas or with Odyssey, I think that would bode well. It just
Mm-hmm.
she's been like she got to the line at a good rate. Like her shot's been good. It's just she was given the ball a lot of times where she wasn't able to be Allisha. Like she was just
Mm-hmm.
like stuck in the position she was, like just having to take like pop up jumpers, which she likes to drive to the basket. Like she got to the free throw line, like she got 10 attempts last game, which was incredible, and that shows
Mm-hmm.
someone that has to initiate a little more, in my opinion, than planned
Yeah.
when you're getting to the line that much. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know anything that I didn't touch upon. Like, what? How are you feeling about her play so far?
She would be in a better position if they would set her up in better spots. Because, like, yeah, you're right. She has been having to initiate a lot of her offense. There's no flow on Team Purple,
Yeah,
and it shows. Because she's really having to try to force it. And yes, she's getting the calls, but, like, she's not being as efficient as I'm sure she would like to be, or she would be if they would, set her up.
yeah. I agree because she took the shot attempts; they were there, but again, they just
Mm-hmm.
weren't in good spots. And then
Mm-mm.
defensively, like they gave up the most points in Athletes Unlimited history. I know that's not a lot because this is only the second season, but
Mhm.
didn't go as planned for sure. So I I don't know, like it just feeds it like offense and defense, like they blend in together. So yeah, I'm
Mhm.
ready for her to be able to show her athleticism on both
Mhm.
a little better with being on another team. So tomorrow is the last day of the first week of Athletes Unlimited, and
Mhm.
Nas and Allisha are going to be playing against each other. So I am going to be
Phew.
majorly conflicted.
Now you see how I feel.
What
He's
the
gonna get a
sparks for the
glimpse.
dream, yeah.
Exactly. You're gonna get a taste of it, and it's not gonna be fun.
It's not.
Is that?
But yeah, sticking with Athletes Unlimited, going away from Nas and Allisha, who's a player that has stuck out to you that's already made a decision either on training camp or a roster that like people may have not been paying attention to before, and then who's someone that isn't on a training camp roster yet that you would be excited to see going forward, like get one of those spots?
All right. So a training camp player that has been killing it so far is Jordan Canada. I know
Okay,
it's me
that's not the
saying
one.
this.
That's not the one I was expecting. So awesome. Okay, yeah, she's been
This is
killer.
this is me saying this as well, cause y'all, if you didn't see me last season, talk all
I
my junk,
did.
because I love my Sparks, and she was thinking up the joint, went behind the line, and I was furious. But I must say, she has her shot selection has been great. She's doing what she
Yeah,
does best, which is dishing the ball, driving to the hoop, playing defense, and setting like she's been doing well. And I'm like, oh my god, this is not going to be a clear cut training camp for her.
no, it's not because Lay has been playing really good too. And again, unfortunately, for people who don't know, both of them are on the Sparks training roster, Clarendon and Canada. So
And they have been
um,
balling out, and that's
yes.
scary because we're gonna have to give up one. It's unfortunate,
And again, we
but
talked
yeah.
about this over and over. Whoever does not get the training camp spot,
Hmm.
yeah, obviously want them to make it somewhere else. So yeah,
Fingers
I
crossed.
was just looking up Canada's assist number. So 10 assists in 2 games, pretty good. I'm about to go over
Hmm.
Odyssey's assist numbers in just a second. Actually, I'm going to do that
Hmm.
now. So that's my player who was not on a training camp roster. Odyssey
Hmm.
looks different. Like I
Oof.
already thought she was like, a solid backup, like, was sick, wasn't in the condition she wanted to be. But she looks like she's on a mission. She wants to make another W run
Hmm.
and be on a roster again. So
As she
uh,
should.
she had 14 assists compared to 3 turnovers yesterday. She has a total of 26 in 2 games.
Dang, I
So
know it was that much.
I didn't either. I didn't realize it. I know her team was
Hmm.
flowing. Like they had like the best passing going on. Like you could tell
They
they had a
definitely
game
did.
plan going in. But yeah, she's played a major part in that. It helps having Alyssa. It helps having
Hmm.
Kelsey Mitchell, obviously, but that's still
Hmm.
really impressive. So
And
I want
Lexi
someone
Hall.
beside her. Yes, both Lexis did incredible. Lexi Hall is the one who rose up the leaderboard the most. I think she broke the
Hmm.
record for most 3 pointers in an AU game. And then
Hmm.
Lexi Brown was really solid too. Like
They both
she's
had
already
like
a
six
solid
threes.
defender, and then she had
Hmm.
like one of those games where she just
She was
goes
hot.
off. So yeah.
Hmm. She was hot.
And then someone you didn't bring up, but you brought them up a lot, like before AU and during
Hmm.
our broadcast, Jasmine Walker. Uh, has looked good. She looked
She's
better
been
in the
looking
first
really
game than
good.
the second one,
Hmm.
but she's just an excellent player for the Storm to bring in to a roster where they're just going to be giving players opportunities and seeing what happens. So,
And that's a
yeah,
great position for her to be in. That's a great position because
it really
all she has
is.
to do is go out there and play her game, and she could probably stick on that roster. So hoping for the best for her.
So, who's the a
Mm,
player that's not on a training camp roster that you would
trying
want?
to think. Mm, we already talked about Odyssey, so I'm not gonna rehash her.
Yeah.
because she's been. I'm still trying to figure out like what the hell is going on with that. But let's see. I really like Jim Reese Davis
Yeah.
from
Oh
what
yeah.
I've
No, you brought
seen.
her up. She's looked
Mhm.
athletic. Like,
Yeah, she's looked really good.
yeah. I'm curious. I had not
Mhm.
heard of her going into the tournament. I hadn't heard
Mhm.
much about her at all. So yeah, if she keeps playing the way she has, she definitely could be one of those players that lands on a training camp team. Crystal Bradford has been like
Oh
a fan
yes.
favorite too, so she didn't stand out as much. Like she wasn't able to get into the play the second game. It felt to me that first game she was like
Mhm.
everywhere. She won the MVP
Mhm.
despite her team losing. So yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely want her to make a roster. I don't know where, but just
Mhm.
a phenomenal locker room player and just does things that you didn't think could be possible. Or yeah,
Exactly. And
so
I wouldn't even think about her, but yes, yes, definitely. She's looked
so
great.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm just excited for day three, and again, like it would just be awesome if Nas stays in first, and we'll be
Yes.
doing both of those playback games tomorrow. I
Mhm.
believe they start at. I just want to double check before I say it out loud, but I believe it's 2:30 Eastern
Mhm.
that they start. Yes. So we'll be doing both games. It's really
Mhm.
fun, really tiring, but
Mhm.
it's a lot of fun just seeing a ton of basketball. Even though one of the games yesterday, the Team Purple one playing
Wow.
against Team Sims did not go as well. It's still really entertaining and the scoring's really fun.
Mhm.
So
It
yeah.
is. Gotta love it.
So next, I want to touch like this wasn't a surprise,
Mhm.
like having that option on extending Aari for one more season. Like you get a team
Mhm.
option on whether they stay another season, or if you don't extend them, they've just become an unrestricted free agent. So
Mhm.
she's like we talked about. I'm not fully on board if she's a starter, full on starter in the W yet. She has the
Mhm.
potential if she improves some things, but
Mhm.
yeah, she had a great sophomore season just looking through some of her stats. Like per 40, she went up from 15.3 points to 18.2. Drastic improvement in her 2 point shooting, 34.3% to 46.9. She was in the 97 percentile in steal percentage. So
Mhm. That sounds
really,
about right.
yeah, the shooting went up and down. It like
Mhm.
the end when we were trying to make the playoffs, it was like a little rough. Like she shot
Mhm.
26%, 8 of 31 in the last two games, but had some major hot streaks. The passing went up and down too. Like the last game of the season, she had 4 assists, 0 turnovers, but the 4 games prior, she had 9 assists and 10 turnovers. So we're just really those are the two things I am looking for. Maybe you want more as well, but
Mhm.
shooting consistency and just being able to feed the ball. Like she's so fast and driving to the paint. If she can
Mhm.
learn to like just not be 100% committed to a shot and look for putting it back to her teammates, there's
Mhm.
definite something there. And yeah, I still think she could be a starter. It's just taking that next step. So, but what about you? What are you wanting to see for season two? How do you feel about the extension?
Man, I hope that she's hitting the gym because yes, she does need that shot consistency because her shot selection at times was like, all right now. You
Yeah,
had your teammate wide open over in the corner, like what's going on?
exactly.
It's like she tried to draw the foul a lot where she should have kicked it out. And I'm like, all right,
Hmm.
I want that decision making to be a lot better. Um and I mean I can't really ask no more than like passing it and shooting well. So
Yeah.
let's just
No, and
hope.
you mentioned like the weight room, and you brought up a good point. Like in
Mhm.
college, it's just different. Like she was dominant at Arizona, and
Mhm.
like when she threw herself into the paint, despite her size, she was
She was
still
able to
like
finish.
a W player. Like she would get fouled. Like she would put
Mhm.
herself in position. Players in the W are like prove yourself, try to
Mm-hmm.
get past me. And it's just an
Exactly.
adjustment. So that's another adjustment. And like you said, getting into the strength room, like I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
the weight room. Yeah, like just making yourself more of a threat. Like if you're wanting to be one of those in the
Mm-hmm.
paint scorers, which she was solid from the mid range game, like when they gave her that opportunity on the defensive side. But just the
Yeah.
combination of that plus looking for the kick out, which I think Robinson's really good at. I'm really curious to
Mm-hmm.
see what she picks up from her. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
overall, excited to see what happens next there. And
Mm-hmm. I
yeah,
can't wait.
I can't either. So yeah, I just want it to come together again. There's just so many positions where you could see it going back and forth, and point guard is one of those. Like Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
like I know she was playing for the Fever, and like her assist numbers were on point, but the shooting is a little risky with her too.
Yeah.
Some defensive breakdowns, but like she's a veteran. She's made the All Star game before, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
She's solid. She's
And
solid.
then Aari showed spurts. So, but the point guard, it's I'm not at like 100% confidence. I'm at like a B minus. And then we talked about the front court before,
Mm-hmm.
where there's a lot of players that have shown spurts, but it has not been over a full season basis. Besides Cheyenne
Mm-hmm.
and Monique on defense and rebounding,
Yeah.
like offensively, like one of those players needs to step up between Coffee, Billings, and now Repair. So
Yeah.
I'm curious who that's going to be. I'm
I
pretty sure that's
wonder.
going to be our front court roster, or if there's something else we're going to do, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly. That's gonna be a tough one because, like, yeah, I would like to say that we're gonna make a move, but who knows? This could be what we roll out, and it could be okay. At least I wouldn't be mad at it, but I just need somebody other than Cheyenne to step up.
I agree. And like I'm going to talk about this a lot going towards the season, but there's ways where this could be really good, where we're top six, potentially top five team if everything
Mhm.
clicks. Alicia and Ryan go off, and then other
Mhm.
people that have shown potential, like at least one of those players in the front court. Also, I also didn't mention Nas in the front court taking that next step,
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah, just someone else like taking the burden off Cheyenne. So
Mhm.
that would have us like a playoff team. Worst case scenario, we have a bad season. We don't come that close to making the playoffs, or it's similar to last season. Cheyenne's on
Mhm.
her last season. Alicia decides that she doesn't want to extend with us. Besides, even though we gave up the 2 first-round picks to get her, and we have Coffee and Billings that are leaving too, and Robinson, and it's just starting from ground zero again. So that's worst case scenario. I
Mhm.
try not to think about it, but it's in the back of my mind.
Mhm. I
So
I I feel you. I feel you.
so part of me still wants one more move, like to
Mhm.
assure us, like to separate us a little more.
Mhm.
I still think we're a playoff team, but I don't know. Like there's still doubt. Like if like there's not the step up needed from other players, it
Yeah.
could yeah hit the rails
Somebody
with
got to
what you
take a
said.
leap.
There's not besides right now. Even Minnesota, they have veterans, but I still think they're going to be towards the bottom. I feel pretty confident on that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Seattle looks like they're just looking to like build younger prospects and then get someone else at the draft. Like it looks like they're committing to rebuild. But the other 10 teams,
Mhm.
yeah, like you said, there's not a lot of separation
It
as far
won't
as
be.
who'll make the playoffs and who won't. So
Mhm. It's gonna
yeah,
be razor thin. It's gonna be razor thin. I can see it now, cause like every year is like at least the past 3 or 4 years. That middle of the pack to the bottom is not that much of a difference.
I agree. And you can tell
So.
me if I'm wrong, like, but the last
Mhm.
2 seasons, there were teams, well, let's just be honest, did not deserve to be in the playoffs. Like they were just there for cattle fodder pretty much for the top seeds, like 12
Mhm.
winning 12 games in a season, winning 15 games in a season, and being like well below 500 shouldn't really get you into the playoffs. I'm not feeling that way this season that's going to be the case. I think we're
Mm-hmm.
going to potentially have teams that are closer to 500 this time around, and that determines the playoffs, like being above 500 or not. Don't know if I'm right. It could be that it's just so much a dogfight that a lot of teams take losses, but that's just my opinion. I think it's going to take winning 21 games to make the playoffs this season. And
21. Now that's a little high.
wait, so how many are there? 40 games this season,
There's
or
40 games. There's 40 games this year.
So yeah, 21 and 19 get you in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be above 500 this season. I could be way off.
Listen, that's gonna be a 6 seed. That's gonna be a
That's gonna
5
be a
or a
6
6
seed.
seed
Okay.
with 21 wins. I'm telling you, somebody's gonna make it on 15 wins.
Okay.
15
I hope
to
that's
18
not us.
wins.
I do not want that stress, and I don't want to. I don't want 25 losses again. I don't
I
want
don't
it.
either.
So I would
I
like
don't
us in the
either.
playoffs, but this is the season where we make the turn. I really want it.
We have to. We have to because we have no choice.
I
We
agree.
have no choice. There's no room for error because this is the last chance we're gonna get to sway some big free agents that are on our team
I
to
agree.
stay. So we have to do something.
I agree.
Now, I know Ryan's gonna do her thing. I know Allisha's gonna do her thing. Nas is showing great promise. Aari, let's hope that she puts it all together this year. But we have very, very little room for error.
I know, like the pieces are there again. Like we talked
Mm-hmm.
about this, but the pieces are there for this season to work out. Like the
Mm-hmm.
pieces coming together, or we lose a lot of people, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want
That's
some
a
momentum.
scary
I want
thought.
Allisha to want to stay. I want Cheyenne
Yes.
to like have a chance of coming back. Like if we don't make the playoffs, there's no way we get Cheyenne back. So
Oh no.
I think Allisha, there's still a chance. Like she sounds like she really likes the area. She likes the direction the
Mm-hmm.
team's going. I still feel like there could be a chance, but if it goes bad, like if it starts off bad and then like the locker room vibes are down from the season not going as planned, like it could just change your mindset on wanting to stay with that team anymore. So I just want to give Allisha confidence that this is the right team to be with, and yeah. So
Yeah.
I want a similar start to last season. I know we were playing weaker teams, but something where we're like just come out of the gates running. We start 7-2 last season, so like even
Mm-hmm.
if it's like 6-3, but just like something where we just start the season like in the first 10 games we're above 500,
Yeah,
that would
that would be
make
great.
me confident. So
Yeah. It's that
just
middle that
don't
I'm
know.
always it's always gets a little shaky. The middle, oh excuse me. The middle is what is like when they hit that rough stretch of like they facing all these tough teams and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm always afraid of.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, the middle of the schedule is always the part that's just like, okay, we got that little, we trying to find our groove, but not really finding the groove. That's what I'm most like curious to see how they respond.
And again, injuries, like we're going to talk about the draft a lot more like leading up to April, but I
Mm-hmm.
am really concerned about guard and wing depth. Like right now, we have AD, and that's it for the 2 and 3 positions. So
Exactly.
something's got to happen. I know Pat Over has a plan. I'm sure he does,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just
Mm-hmm.
still really nervous thinking about that. If we have an injury, I do not want our season being like, if we had Tip last season the entire time, we would have been a playoff team for sure. We would have had more games where we broke out like we did against the Aces. So it would have happened. So Ryan
Exactly.
needs a partner in crime to just
Mm-hmm.
be dominant out there, and it's not all on her
And
shoulders.
they
So
take the heat off. Yeah. Because they were triple teaming her like what 2 weeks into the league, and I was like,
and
okay, so
understandably, and then some other people
exactly,
need
and
to
she
hit
should have
shots,
been,
and yeah,
and they didn't.
so it's gonna happen
And
this
here we
season.
are. Yeah, exactly. Because Allisha is going to take a lot of heat off of Ryan, and as long as the two of them are like playing well off of each other, I think we got a shot to beat anybody. To be honest.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, and just going to the draft, like I'm thinking of maybe catching some plays like during conference tourney or NCAA tourney, but I'm really thinking my gut is telling me at sixth, it's either going to be Horston, Jackson, or Osborne. People can
And I'm cool
disagree.
with either like any of them. I would be cool with.
So I know Osborne struggled from shooting, but I don't know, just the
Mm-hmm.
creativity. Like she's on a younger team, like the passes that didn't work with UCLA, I just see, it working once she gets to the W. So we'll see. Again, Padover is the one paid to make those moves. He might have someone else in mind that
Maybe
ends up fitting out better, and Padover we trust. But
exactly.
So we'll see what we can do about that. And I'm just really excited for now. Less than 2 months away from seeing how our roster is going to shape up, or if we make a trade. And speaking of trades, there was one you brought up during playback. I just want to end on that. You think your Sparkies have some cap space now with Talbot and Katie Lou unfortunately being injured. What do you potentially want to do with that cap space?
Well, my lovely, lovely Leo friend in my head, my dear Skylar Diggins Smith, she wants out. And guess who is in LA? One of her besties, Nneka the Ogumake. And I know that, Kurt is feeling a little antsy, possibly about Kennedy Carter. And we want Kennedy to get a fresh start. So why not make the swap? And make everybody happy. That's just me. I could be out of my mind. I probably am. But I'm saying, like, the potential of Kennedy Carter is astronomical. Like, she could be one of the best guards to play the game if you give her the room to be who she is.
And before, like, there would have been potential of like a swap, like knowing SDS is gone, but like just with how little Kennedy has played, unfortunately, the last 2 seasons,
I know
the Sparks would have to give up another significant piece. So I'm wondering, I told you this, maybe Jasmine Walker, because they would no longer need her with having the SDS obviously take the point guard position. Maybe their first pick like their first round pick as well, like something like,
I mean, listen,
I don't know what the Mercury would want in return, but it would instantly, I don't know, like what I talked about for the Dream, like this being a season to convince free agents. Nneka did not sign for a multi-year contract again. Shanae did not sign a multi-year contract again.
And I know what that is. I think. So
Okay.
I think for one, she's making room on the roster for one thing. For two, I actually believe that 2024 is supposed to be the year where they sign like a big marketing deal and they can ask for half as like the players union. So I think that a lot of them are taking less this year because they can get the big bag next off season. But that's, we don't know how these deals are going to go. I think it's supposed to come into effect next year. So
because the Sparks are another team right now, another team with a lot of pieces where if it comes together, I feel like their ceiling is higher right now than the Dream. Like I see the Sparks potentially being top 4 team. I really like that Azarace signing. But like Katie Lou getting injured and Talbot, like those are teams that like players that really would have been like some solid role players, and they're gone. So I don't know. I could see it not going well anymore. Like, and then would Nneka really want to come back like guaranteed if they don't make the playoffs for a second season?
Listen,
for actually a third season in a row. It would be this season. So,
and this is somebody who never missed the playoffs before the last 2 seasons, which is insane. Like she had
and
an
she seems
insane
really
run.
competitive. Like she seems like a good
She
sport and locker
is.
room presence, but she is not someone that I don't know. I don't think she likes losing much. So
Listen, here's the thing, because NECA, she is very even. She never gets too high, never gets too low. But I do see the competitor waking up. I've seen her get like so pissed last year. Like she could not hide it anymore. She wanted it bad.
yeah.
And everything was falling apart around her. And like nothing she could do could like get them back on the right path. So I really feel like this year is a make or break for her being a spark. That's
Okay.
just, I feel like that's part of the reason why she took a 1-year deal. That's one of the reasons I feel like. But yeah, Mama was really in her bag last year for somebody who wasn't the focal point of the offense.
I
I'm just
agree.
saying.
Yeah. She would have been getting a lot more attention if she was the focal point or close to the focal point. Like she wasn't the
Yeah,
one
she
being
wasn't
given the ball in
even
clutch situations. Yeah.
exactly. It was insane
So
to me because I was watching like, so she's hitting all the shots and she's basically having to like take the ball up the floor. Like people who have watched her for as long as I have, we know that years ago, like her going coast to coast off a rebound is not something that she would have been great at. Like she could not dribble for the longest, like even as recently as a couple of seasons ago. But like her ball handling, like she really took it to the next level, and I'm kind of afraid for the rest of the league. I'm not even gonna front, because if she's actually the focal point of the offense, like she should be the number one option, I don't understand what Ballhead Junior was thinking. But
we're back to bald head. Okay.
yeah, I can't call, like, he has to pay for his crimes. He must pay.
Got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I honestly thought the breaking point was this past season, and then she immediately said in exit interviews that she was going to come back and she was committed. So I was a little disappointed.
I know she's bullheaded and it's
I had
hilarious.
Cheyenne and NECA visions, and then it just
Me
got
too.
spoiled really early on. I'll be honest, for any Sky fans that listen, if NECA had not committed to LA so fast, most
Hmm.
of my crystal balling and annoyingness on Twitter would have gone towards NECA. It would have gone that
Hmm.
direction instead of towards Azare. It would have
Yeah.
changed a little because Azare's really good, but NECA's like, one of, yeah, the
She's
best already
proven.
is established. Azare has
Hmm.
potential. She needs to have a starting role. She's going to get it in LA, but NECA is just, I would have been talking like Atlanta being a top 4 team if we had Cheyenne, NECA, Allisha, Ryan, and then a mix
Listen,
of Robinson and Aari. That would have been, yeah. So that's what I mean
one.
by
Hmm.
the type of move I would want. If we want to be one of those teams that's secure in the playoffs, we would need to take a risk. And how
Hmm.
Pat Over's talking, he does not want to take too many risks where it would just be putting all the eggs into this season. It's understandable. We're trying to build something
Yeah.
for the long run, so I don't think that trade's happening. So I feel like we're going to be confident going into the season, but not like it's a guarantee like
Yeah. Nothing's
Aces
gonna be a
fans are
guarantee.
feeling, Liberty fans are even thinking, like Mystic fans, Sun.
Hmm.
Sparks should be feeling decently confident. It's not a guarantee, but I still
Hmm.
feel confident with
Hey,
them. And then from
I'm
there on,
feeling
it's
good.
just, yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
So
it's a toss up.
I'm just going to have to embrace being in that bloodbath. And yeah,
Because it will be a bloodbath. Trust me. I don't want my heart ripped out again. So listen, it's been too long. It's been 2 long seasons of me not rooting for one of
a
my
playoff team.
teams.
I agree.
Well, I latched on to my GOAT CP. So, I was
Yep,
following
we were
her wherever
both
she
cheering
went.
for the same team in that run. Yeah.
Exactly. And also Chelsea being in Vegas. I love Chelsea. I miss her so much in LA. So like getting to see them flourish has
I
been
don't see
great.
Tik I don't see TikTok that often, but I did see one like they posted the Las Vegas Aces.
Hmm.
They posted CP3 and Chelsea together, like hands over their shoulders, and then at the end of the TikTok, they said better, like before and better or something like that, and then it
Man,
showed them in
listen.
Vegas, and like they were just trying to pick on Spark fans
Of course, of
already.
course. Listen,
So
I pick at the Sparks, okay? I pick at them as well. Because it's been a dumpster fire for the last couple of years. But I love to see my former Spark players and my former Dream players flourish. So, it's no grudges at all. But I need one or both. I need both. Really, I need both in there. I need both. I
now
want
one
to root.
team I've talked about this a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
again, I will talk about this again. There's one team that I'm hoping for their downfall. They have a lot of unrestricted free agents. If egos get in the way, and
They will.
what I am just hoping. Obviously, Naj, I want her to have an excellent season.
Yes.
Han, like there's different players that
Mm-hmm.
I want to succeed, but
Mm-hmm.
it would just be so funny to me the Liberty that have so many 1-year contracts, it just falls apart and does not go as planned. Either
Yeah.
I think them not making the playoffs is too unrealistic of
Yeah, it's way too
a dream, but
unrealistic.
them getting knocked out in the first round and getting upset by someone, that would be so fun to me.
It could be the dream that does it. You
Oh,
never know.
just the full circle payback from last season.
Exactly, for
Yeah,
like a couple of seasons, to be honest. Cause yeah,
yeah.
it's been rough. But I mean, I'm not, and it's crazy because I'm looking at one of my Naj jersey, my New York jersey, but I can't find it in my heart to root for New York. I just cannot.
No.
And I
And there's been
love
times where I've
a
wanted
lot
to,
of these
you know how
players.
I love underdog stories, but in the first
Hmm.
round, I could not cheer for them. Like even though I love rooting for
Mm.
upsets, I was like, no, I need it just be chalk and this is a sweep. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
can't
I
cheer for New
never
York.
can.
I really
I
can't.
can't.
So
It goes against everything in
me
my
too.
body. Like I can't do it. And I know why, but I'm not gonna say it on here. You'll
Yeah.
get it. I'm pretty sure
Yes.
it's gonna
If you
fly out
know,
of
you
my
know.
mouth later. Exactly. If you know, you know. And
And
if you
anybody that
don't, it's
watches
gonna
this, like
listen.
especially long tenure WNBA fans, is it
Hmm.
just me or is there more hate towards the Liberty, even though they haven't won a championship? There's more hate on that side than there is for the Sparks in the WNBA community. Am I wrong or
Hmm. You know what? Yes, because like
you think
the
I'm
thing
wrong?
about
Okay.
listen, I feel like Liberty in more recent years probably has got more hate. But LA people okay, people forget. Lisa Leslie was a huge part of like ushering in the league and all of this, and she was on the team for a long time. Then she passed the torch to CP, who's a polarizing player as well. Like you love her, you hate her. There's no in between.
It's true.
And then like everybody got on the Candace train when she left. So like, and now it's so easy to dump on them because they're not winning.
Got it.
Like people
Okay.
like NECA, but she's not like people. Well, people. There's not a lot of people that don't like NECA. Most people like
Again, I say
NECA.
it's a character flaw if you don't like NECA with how she carries the room, like how she
Yeah,
leads, how she plays. Yeah.
because she's very well respected, but like you're either indifferent with NECA or you are like you like her a lot.
Okay.
So
I
it's
have
not
seen
many
some
people
like
that don't.
indifferent takes, so I haven't
Yeah,
seen like hate on her, but okay.
yeah. I
So
don't see a lot of hate. It's just
So I
more
guess I
people
have
that
to
are
see the Sparks
indifferent.
because again, I wasn't like a passionate fan. I've gone back and watched some of those like games where Chelsea and CP3 were together with the Sparks earlier on, but
I
I
missed
wasn't
it
like
so
a
much.
fan live during those times. So
Mhm.
I'll have to see LA do good at the same time as New York and
Mhm.
then make that judgment. But still, I'm curious, do people agree with Amber that the Sparks are more hated now for what they did in the past?
Now they're
Or
more hated back in the day. Like now it's
so
just
you still
easy
think
to
it's
dump
the
on them.
so you think it's the Liberty now, but
Now, yes.
overall it's the Sparks as far as WNBA history. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. It's always a beat LA chant anytime they come into town, especially in Atlanta.
And
Like
I
it's crazy. And it's like, yo, they're not even what they used to be, but y'all still do this to them every time. And it's like it's not just in Atlanta, it's in like wherever they play. It's crazy.
I am going to point this out.
Mhm.
People love Ryan's trash talk right now. Like she's just the endeared rookie.
Mhm.
But if she
Yes.
does that, if she does some of those like hand, like some of those motions, those celebrations when she knocks your team out
Oh,
after
baby.
knocking down a game-winning shot, I'm just saying there is potential for Atlanta to be much hated, and I hope I
Uh-huh.
get to experience that. But I think
Yes.
the foundation is starting to be grown, and again, I just want it to flourish, and it comes from us being a
Mhm.
competitive team this season. I want to
Mhm.
be that hated team where yeah, Ryan and Nas that are so endeared by everyone.
Mhm. Listen, y'all
Those
don't
two
want her to
just
become the
tear other
villain.
teams' hearts out, and
It's
we get to
coming.
enjoy their friendship, and other people just give us
Hate
like
their guts.
stink eyes and everything. So I'm
Mhm.
fine with that. I'm fine
I would
with
love
that
it.
coming eventually in history. So
Mhm. Because it's
just
gonna
saying,
come. Because Ryan is gonna be. She's gonna be that player that's gonna tear out your heart. It's she's gonna be the one, and she's gonna smile and show those cute little dimples,
yep.
and y'all are gonna be seething because she knocked your team out.
She's gonna shoot
It's
the
coming.
arrow out. Like they're gonna give her the
Yes.
interview. Like, hey, how does it feel to knock this team out? She's gonna shoot the arrow, walk off, something like that. Like,
Listen,
I am just hoping
I
non-Dream
can't
fans who are
wait.
tuning in. I can't wait for her to just crush your hearts and yeah.
Oh, it's coming.
So
Once she gets that,
I was not
okay,
expecting to go this direction, but it just came into my head. Like I just talking
exactly.
about hated teams. Yeah,
Yeah, it shall happen. It shall be. Because she's a killer.
she is.
Mm-hmm. Once she gets
But yeah,
back up, it's over with.
it is. I agree. Anything else you want to end on, or you think that's a good place to
Hey,
stop?
I think we good and wrapped up today.
Cool. All right. Well,
Yep.
join us tomorrow for the last day of week 1 of Athletes Unlimited. And then the
Mm-hmm.
draft will be later on, where hopefully Nas and Allisha will be on the same team for the first time until they come to Atlanta.
Let's
So,
hope.
yep.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And you have a great night. And pleasure speaking with you as always, Amber.
As always, see you
All right.
guys.
Bye.